Welcome to the Beyond the Blondies podcast. We ain't quite sure of a name yet, but we might stick with that. Be the fun host.
Yeah, for now.
I'm Bill, and I got my two co-hosts here, Rafal and Greg.
Hi.
I've been stressed, to be honest. I've been stressed. I don't know why.
Nice to see you this week.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially.
you guys.
Like even the vibe went down very quickly when you started to record that.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
weird.
it's because it's recording. It's
Yeah.
exactly why. It's like still under pressure.
Man, it's good to see you, even though there's this coronavirus thing going on at the moment. Yeah, you know, it's like some people are saying like I shouldn't be coming here and like seeing you guys, but then again. No,
Yeah, just continue.
you
Just
should just do your own thing, and like as long as as long as everyone now in your community is taking responsibility for what you're doing, I think it's.
Yeah. In fact, we shouldn't shut down everything. So, like we should have still the contact with other people, but not go out for 2 months. So it's better to minimize the effect, like to have, for example, to go to work still. But if you can work remotely, you can do it. If you cannot, just go there and you make your job.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
It just minimize everything, but we cannot close everything.
we don't have
impossible.
control over this thing, and it's you just don't really have that much control over life. So
Did you hear it? Did you hear it?
What?
It's time for a vodka.
Oh, vodka.
Yeah,
That's
vodka.
my favorite. Yeah, let's pour some shots.
Yeah, sponsorship. So thank you to today's sponsor, which is Paderewski exclusive Polish vodka.
For disclaimer, we don't actually have Paderewski as a sponsor.
Yeah, so just to introduce you to the Paderewski, he was a Polish politician, born in 1880 something.
really,
Yeah, and he was from Poznań.
but
He was born in Poznań.
Poland didn't exist then.
Yeah, Poland didn't exist at the time. So
what-
he was fighting for a Polish independence.
Oh,
Like he was playing USA, like literally fighting for a Polish independence, and just trying to announce that every time. Which is
like,
nice.
see, I feel like I'm so behind on Polish
And
history.
at this time he was
It's more
one of the
delicious
best musicians generally, but for sure top 3 as a pianist in the world.
Oh, okay. So
He's a pianist.
Pianist.
Oh.
He was an artist then.
Yeah, he was an artist, but then he started to
Fair.
go more into the politics, and finally he ended up as a politician. And
These things are always good for me to know. Like, since like I am Polish, but then I never learned Polish history at school.
Uh-oh. Wait, we had the shot glasses earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Wait, let's shot it from the lid.
yeah, but we've got
Let's all share the lid and get clear.
Yeah, we've got a special tradition in Poland. Like we always drink
Yeah,
only from the one specific.
Yeah, and
Glass.
we pour in
Only from-
rounds. I pour it to Ralph.
Yeah, so we need to pour to the next person, and the next person pour it to the next, and so on and so on. That helps you to find the person that is the weakest in terms of alcohol.
Yeah, that's how we do it in Poland.
That's how we do in Poland. Okay, cheers, Bill.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Zdrowie.
Na zdrowie. Paderewski must have been a very tough guy.
Yeah, like they always name vodkas.
So
after,
did they make this
after
when he was
people.
alive, or did they
I
just name
doubt.
it after?
Like, but Polish vodkas are always named after some person, right?
So he could try this and
Yeah,
be
like
like,
Soplica.
yeah, I don't like this one.
Chopin,
Sobieski.
Żubrówka. No, not Żubrówka.
Sobieski.
Did you say
Sobieski,
babushka?
Żubrówka means... What was the żubr? It's...
It's a bison.
how
Oh, is that shit you...
Yeah, this
Oh.
one, yeah. With special, like...
Yeah. Chopin.
Special grass inside
No, thank
to make a special flavor. Yeah, this is... Yeah, it was very tough. Yeah. But don't recommend that.
Bill's turn.
But yeah, this is true. Like all of the Polish companies, they name the vodkas usually by the very
Skol.
big Polish people from the past. And we have the Finlandia, which means like Finland. But is it Polish one? I think
I think it's Finnish, isn't it?
Maybe. No. Have you been in Warsaw in a museum of vodka?
No.
Yeah, I will recommend to order. It's quite spanny, to be honest, but it's very good.
Okay.
Okay, stop. First round is done.
Keep going.
Alright. Bill, what's the agenda for today's podcast?
What gender are you?
So-
What do you mean by gender? This agenda? No, I saw the YouTube video
How
about the
dare
agenda.
you? How very dare you?
I'm not even trying to ask.
I don't even try to ask.
No further questions.
No further
Not-
questions.
not further questions.
Yeah.
So I wrote down some notes. What to write?
Accents or story of the day?
Story of the day.
So
I don't think I've got. Have you got story of the day? Any of you guys?
yeah.
I've got the story of yesterday. I lost
Nah,
my
that can
due
work.
due to the coronavirus. I
No,
lost
but
my
like,
job,
the
which is very sad.
Story from like London, I guess. So like
Story from London.
I found out today that I had a chat with a policewoman at Tesco, and she said that because of coronavirus, like all the police workforce is like self-isolating, so she has to work like 12-hour shifts, and like most things she has to go through is people getting scammed by people offering to do their shopping for them because of coronavirus, like old people. So like,
Yeah.
it actually quite kind of sucks.
For example, in Poland, I saw the videos. Like there are the volunteers that send the flowers to the NHS workers, which is very lovely. Like if you work for example in NHS, there are like the special team of volunteers that they find all of the addresses of the people that works for NHS, and then they send you the flowers.
But what I'm saying is, like old people that need shopping done for them
I prefer flowers.
are getting scammed.
Ah,
Yeah.
so they
Oh,
give
they-
no
yeah,
way. They
they
give the
will.
money to the people.
Yeah.
They go to the shopping and they don't go back.
They sent us an email about this in work.
Oh,
so
fuck.
Yeah.
the states we work out.
Yeah,
we have to
because
keep
so
an
like.
eye
Wow,
But-
this
but-
is very unfair.
Yeah, exactly. So like initially, I thought everything is great.
No,
Like
this is very bad.
I know, like
Bastards.
because like
Don't do it. Don't do
initially,
it.
I thought like this coronavirus thing is great for the society because it actually brings people together. Like it makes people
Make us
like,
better.
give back to the community. But then it turns out that actually like some fuckers like just take this opportunity to
They take the list. They walk away and then they're like, okay, in a bit. And they don't
Yeah,
return
but
to the shop
you
and
know,
keep the money.
I understand to steal the money from the government. I understand to steal the money from the rich people, but
Yeah,
not from
they still,
Oh,
everyone's
they're
stealing from
afraid-
us.
afraid-
old vulnerable people.
old
that's
people
the lowest of the low,
we-
really.
don't have
Yeah.
so much money for sure.
That's
And
fucked.
yeah, they're just afraid of going out, and then they lose the whole pension just for nothing. Yeah, and they're like even afraid of letting to do this job to other people, and they sell houses being angry. Yeah, so it's not a very good choice. Yeah, this is very rude. This is very rude.
Yeah.
Rude. Yeah, that's one word for it.
Yeah, like one of the worst behaviors you can expect from people. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Steal only the money from the not government, but
I vote against this. I disapprove this
No.
message.
I didn't mean the government. Don't steal the money from the government. But yeah, from rich instances and rich people. Yeah,
Yeah, just steal.
not the government.
Steal the money, basically.
Yeah, not the government. Never. Don't do it. They will find you anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so fact of the day quote.
This
has nothing like that.
Hasn't happened to me.
Fact of the day
Quote of the day.
of today. Quote of
I
the
can't
day.
think of any from the top of my head.
Yeah, I've heard a very good sentence you sent about it. Was I don't remember, but it was very very nice. I show it to you. I
Not
showed it to
necessarily a
you.
quote, but something that sounded very inspirational to you recently.
I have some nice quotes we can go through.
Are they randomly generated though, or do they have to mean something to you?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
just
they do.
something.
Okay.
Just something.
Bit filler. Yeah.
Those who tell the stories to rule society.
That's what
So
plays.
actually, we tell the stories right now. So does it mean we rule the society?
Well, if we tell the story effectively enough, then yeah.
Wait, what story?
So
Just the story.
The people that tell the stories that like stick with people, they rule the society. So That's what Plato said 2,000 years ago.
Holy shit.
I thought Hitler.
Because that you know that if they see how you perceive the world, then they have similar sort of values than you do, and it just makes the system.
This one is very profound. A sharp mind will find the truth for itself. Is it meaningful?
No,
I think that's subjective.
the second part is a humble
Our
spirit will find.
find the truth higher than itself.
It's nothing.
So actually, this is the topic for our podcast. So
Well,
you need to teach me how to speak proper. I mean,
do you
proper
mean-
English.
When it comes to words, maybe a little bit, but accent, I think the only way you can't really change your accent. You have to have moved to a country.
But, like,
when
you
you're,
can-
7 years
you
old
can,
or
like-
some shit.
Let's say we use usually 1,000 words, right? Like let's say normal
Polish
conversations,
or English?
10,000. But like
Wait,
they
English, yeah.
English, like
Yeah.
daily basic.
Right.
So let's say I live here 1 year, so I can learn every day 3 words how to pronounce them properly. So like I don't mean you need to explain me those words, but I can.
It's like the other day when you said, "Okay, I will do this from the scratches," but you meant I'll do it from scratch,
Yeah, just one scratch.
which is actually
It should be scratches.
I
It's
pref-
not one scratch.
scratches sounds a lot more better.
Yeah, like
a lot
you have
more- a lot-
you have
wait,
some
a lot
things and
more
you
better.
need just to put them together, and
A lot
then
more.
I need to read them.
No, but I think
Read those words properly.
No, that's not difficult. That's difficult words, not difficult pronunciation
Pronunciation
of words.
to say. Okay. So it may be the challenge for me, and then you have the challenge in Polish. So this is the proper one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
It's not the proper one.
I
so
know.
No
Okay,
one speaks properly.
number one.
It's not even the
What
word.
does that even
What
say?
does? Well, it's not pizza lasagna.
Oh,
this one.
no,
That's the
okay.
advertisement.
Oh,
Worcestershire.
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 Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can play it on a Google Translator, and then we'll see how.
No,
to-
I know because I lived near Worcestershire.
So this is a city.
Oh.
Yeah, Worcestershire. No, Worcestershire is a county.
Yeah, it's like
And
Leicester. Or instead of like Leicester or something, you
Yeah.
just say Leicester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like I live in Gloucester and it's
it's like Gloucester.
Or like-
Like,
Gloucester.
Like-
I'm from Poland. I would read it as Gloucester, not Gloucester,
It's like
just
it-
Gloucester or something.
Like Peterborough.
Yeah, so we would say it Peterborough. Yeah,
Close
that's
enough,
quite
close
good, so.
enough.
Peterborough.
Peterborough.
Yeah, that's how.
But for
Polish-
example, in Polish, I think we call it Petersburg.
Think of the word Peter
No,
and the
no,
word.
no, Petersburg is in Russia.
in Russia, but isn't it the same one? Like just translated to a different language.
So think of Peter and the word brr. Peterborough.
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 Pete-
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like Peter's bra. So the Peter has the bra.
but
so
without
Peter's
without
bra.
the
Yeah,
S.
like
Peterborough.
Peterborough.
Yeah.
Peterborough.
Yeah. So the,
Peterborough.
the
Yeah.
next one.
Anyway,
Can you say this one?
choir.
Quiet.
Choir.
No, is it the group of people
Yeah.
singing?
Yeah.
You how do you spell it? How do you call it?
That right there in front.
Choir.
I know how to write it.
Cheer
Choir.
or choir.
But how do you call it?
Quiet.
Choir.
Like
Choir.
to inquire, but with the without the N. Just
But,
quiet.
You can have like the.
Two
Yeah,
different words.
you can inquire something, but
But no,
like,
they're two
it's-
different words.
Yeah, yeah,
but
It's
for
written
example,
completely
the
different.
Yeah.
pronunciation.
I always thought this is
Quiet.
choir. Choir.
I don't
Really?
blame you. Look how
Yeah.
it's spelled.
You never heard this word.
Never. I didn't use it, and I didn't hear it before.
I
Like, I
didn't-
wrote it a few times.
I didn't use it.
Maybe I
You never used it.
didn't use it. I've never used that.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this one. I know this girl. Squirrel.
Squirrel? No.
Squirrel.
No. Yeah.
Squirrel. I
Squirrel.
would say squirrel, but like
Squirrel.
your accent.
Squirrel.
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 Oh, we talked about this.
Yeah, we were
recently.
talking about the squirrel
How
like
has that
3
come
or 3
up?
days ago. Literally, yeah.
Squirrel.
So this is squirrel.
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 Like, say square.
Squirrel.
Oh.
Roll. Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
So this will be a challenge for me. So
You look
you
so
can. I feel like
concentrated when you
you
said
can you can get the accent, but you need to really like have someone to teach you that.
Mm.
It's like you need to tell me it's not.
As long as you
I
remember
would
it.
say it's squirrel, but it's squirrel.
Do you know the next word?
What does that even? Anemone.
Anemone. It's Italian.
Anemone.
An.
Anemone. Anemone.
No, it's not.
Anemone.
It's not even English.
Anemone.
What?
Monogamy.
Anemone.
Monogamy.
Manamana.
Polygamy.
This wildflower spices has too many.
No, it doesn't even seem to be British. It doesn't even seem to be. Sixth.
Sixth. I see how that could be hard to the
Just say it
perspective
in
of
the end.
Oh come on, that's bullshit. Penguin. How is penguin difficult to pronounce?
Because some people,
Penguin.
some British people say penguin.
No, because it says this one actually is a joke.
During
During
the
interview on Graham Norton's show last year, somebody messed up the pronunciation of the word penguin.
He was saying penguins.
Yeah, he says penguin.
Colonel. This is Spanish.
Oh,
it means
colonel.
the boss, the colonel. The next
really?
one.
Oh, that sounds Spanish. Yeah. Colonel.
No,
It's not like
this is just a difficult word because this is difficult word for everyone. This is
ologist.
Author.
Oh wait, huh?
I think this is something about the nasal
Give me a
cavity
minute.
staff doctor. Yeah,
Otolaryngologist.
laryngologist, something related to this one. Yeah. Quick break.
No, not break. I'm just getting my glasses.
Okay, so the next one was this colonel is just the boss or
Colonel.
colonel.
No, colonel.
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 What does it mean?
The KFC colonel.
You've always pronounced colonel.
Because it's not even. I guess it's not even English. It must be Spanish.
Sounds Spanish.
It must
Has to
sound.
be.
Where's this
Australia.
recording
Well,
here? So I personally believe that the word colonel derives from Spanish, which means maybe the police officer or someone from the army, which like very high ranked, like the general, generale,
Yeah.
general. Yeah. So I personally believe it's because
Just
I watched the Narcos, and there was for sure the police officer from DEA, and
Narco.
they always referred to him as a colonel. That's my fault. From Narcos, the best movie, by the way. Recommend from my.
No, it's a
from my
series.
heart.
Series.
It's the same. For me, it's the same.
It's not the same. It's, yeah, movies and series.
Maybe because of the Polish, it's like
To movie.
sometimes, like for example, you say this word without even thinking about it. Like for example, the lyrics and the subtitles. It's for me personally, it's the same. I distinguish those two words. But that, for me, it's quite the same. Those are just the text on a screen that you can read and you understand what they are talking about. Yeah. So exactly the same about Narcos. What were we talking about? Narcos. Why did I switch to the subtitles?
No,
Because I
we
thought this is
wanted
exactly
to
the
talk
same. About the series and the movies.
No. But before we were. Oh, that. When we talk about movies, we are.
It's a terrible segue.
By devices.
Devices.
Do our devices listen to us?
Oh, that was on the list when we're thinking of topics.
Because so we started we've been talking about Narcos, and Narcos they were listening to their conversations.
So I remember saying
just to track all of the bad people, let's say. So the police and the intelligence were always using this power to track the bad people.
That was it.
And
Yes.
now I think personally they track all of us to the best of the society, but in real life they just want to track us, they just want to control our lives, and they want to know everything about
So
us.
I see the situation as like one, the government wants to know what we're up to, and then second, the private companies want to know how to get money off of us.
And they do it right now.
But there are laws that
Right now.
but there are laws that protect us from that being done, especially like
there's
in Europe we have the GDPR, so the company has to get a personal agreement whether they take data from what exact data they take from you.
Well, it's all about like when you accept
but do
cookies,
you-
when you download an app and you accept, no one reads that.
Yeah,
shit.
but
You
do
just
you
click
read
accept,
it? Do you read
accept.
it? No one reads those.
No one does.
Yeah.
Even that,
So-
you know
so-
what's
so-
going
so-
on.
so-
Still, no one
But
reads it.
that's apps. Like I'm saying, like
No, but not just apps, but websites, cookies. It's small print. You know, whatever the word is for it. Like there's ways ways that you agree to it that you don't even.
So there is a lot of data that's being collected from us, but it's not collected from when we're not allowing it to collect.
I mean, like say for example, adverts on social media. Me and Rafal was talking about
you did experience that before.
the Tiger King document. We were talking about it, and then literally half hour later, I see a jumper come up on Instagram, and it said, it's a sponsor, obviously an advert. It'd be like a jumper with a load of tigers on it, and I'm thinking, okay, it's not very specific, but it's specific enough to be like half an hour ago that we were talking about Tiger King documentary and all the mad fuckers that were on it.
Yeah, and I remember
I feel like bots listen out for keywords that you say.
It's not like they track. So don't track the whole conversation.
It could be 2 months later, it could be half hour later, they come back.
But think about it. So your phone is a Google phone, right?
Android. I guess does
Android.
that mean Google phone?
You are connected to the Google account.
So it's a Google phone. So
yes.
So, well, the software is provided by Google, which is from Android, and but then you got the advert on Amazon, right?
Amazon? I have the app Amazon, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, so where did you see the advert?
But this advert was...
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
On Instagram, so
it'll say read more or whatever it says, and then you click on the item and it shows you more about the product or product similar. So
that would require Google to be partnering with Instagram in real time, providing all this data flow in real time, and I just don't think this is like.
No, I don't mean people here. I just mean like bots. Technology. You listen out for keywords that you
what
say,
you're saying is
so they can attract your eye to.
Go
ahead.
Yeah. So like what you're saying is like a conspiracy because like they've publicly admitted that this is not the case.
Mm?
Yeah. So this is the theory, but the practice is really we saw it a few times together. Really.
I know.
And this is like the real example that you cannot deny.
Maybe it's just a coincidence.
It's way too specific sometimes.
Maybe like you gave the special access to your phone, for example. You accepted
some
more
it's not a coincidence.
But for example, I didn't. I think I did experience it a few times on my phone, but you experience it every time. Hear it.
No, it's just like it's way too specific. It listens out for keywords that you like.
Time for sponsors first, then you continue.
You just want to drink vodka, don't you? Let's drink some fucking vodka.
Yeah. So the sponsor is Paderewski, I told before. The Polish politics, so I can.
Yeah,
to drink with Bill.
Let's have a little.
Our mate.
Let's.
And when we drink with Bill, he downs it down in.
You give me 8 seconds to do a shot.
6, 5.
I'll wait till the last 2 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay, so the quick introduce to the Polish, to our sponsors today. Ignacy Jan Paderewski, born in 1860, so he was born before. Well, and he died in 41.
41?
1941.
You mean 18, 19? Oh, 19.
1941. So he died in the war. And he was a Polish pianist and composer who became a spokesman for Polish independence. Yeah, so he became the politician that started as a pianist. In 1919, he was the new nation's prime minister. Oh, he was a prime minister of Poland. Wow. And the foreign minister.
But there was a wait.
And the foreign minister during which he signed the treaty. How do you call it? Treaty of Versailles.
Oh, Versailles.
Traktat Wersalski.
Wait.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
I thought Poland didn't exist. Wait, when? In 1919.
1919. So that was after the First World War.
So so he was the first
foreign. Like he was literally the first Polish prime minister. No, he was the first
of the second Polish.
What's the specific translation of prime minister in Poland? What do you guys say?
Premier.
That makes sense. Premier.
Prime minister.
Prime.
It's not a Polish word, but
I guess
it's a universal word, I guess.
Yeah, it's maybe
slightly.
Yeah, but okay.
Time to take the sponsors hit.
Well, maybe they will.
No, I've done mine.
They will pay us one day.
Na zdrowie.
Sponsor.
Na zdrowie.
Okay, na zdrowie. Na zdrowie.
Skål.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you always say na zdrowie,
Tak.
which sounds Russian. Na zdrowie.
It's like
Ukrainian,
it's
maybe?
like you're saying na zdrowie. Yeah.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Yeah, na zdrowie.
Na
Na zdrowie, hey. In my area we say na zdrowiczku.
Hop, siup, 4
zdrowiczku.
baby, 8 dup.
Yeah, it's
Is that your town thing?
I guess it's like mixture of Polish and Slovak language.
Slovak.
We speak. Yeah.
Na
It's like
drugą-
na zdrowiczku.
Na drugą nóżkę.
This like na second.
All I heard was babushka.
It's always so frustrating when I start to think in Polish and then in English.
This just sounds very Russian to me.
Yeah. So we say na drugą nóżkę, which means to the second leg. No, na drugą nóżkę.
Apologies out there for anyone Polish listens to me.
Which means if you drink, sure he was a very tough guy. But yeah, we say na drugą nóżkę, which means to the second leg,
Nóżkę.
because if you drink only
Wait,
one,
what's the specific translation?
like literally it means to the second leg.
To the second
To
leg.
the second leg.
So,
Yeah,
so this leg is fucked, but to this leg, we'll
No.
Yeah, it's like to have the-
First you drink on your one leg,
and then you drink to your
but
second leg.
you don't care about your one. You have to have even amount of shots. It's just
Yeah.
an excuse to drink.
So you can be drunk
no,
for
I
two
get
legs,
it.
but it's better to have. Yeah.
It's
So
just-
then
just-
even if you
Ah,
walk,
it's
and
just
even
a
if you're
pretend
drunk, so
game.
it's like equal.
Equilibrium, equality.
Equality, yeah, not equilibrium. Equality.
I
But I would
think
say
just
equal.
equal, just equal.
Equal, yeah. So we can let's say every podcast we can pick up on 3 words that I don't pronounce properly, and then you have. to
Oh
teach
no!
me them.
Every time you don't pronounce a word, I'm going to pick up on it. That's the plan.
No. You would pick up every 5 seconds.
No. Oh no! I've been doing it every time I notice it. So there's probably a lot I'm not noticing, but
Okay, yeah.
that was
I mean,
that was the plan.
All of the words I need to
Can you
pronounce.
say the Wales village?
The what?
The village in Wales that's got like the longest name.
Oh, is that the video where there's the
Yeah,
you were saying on the video?
Right. Well, let me cheers to that.
So about maybe the sponsor, I can finish the introduction of the.
I isn't Welsh.
I think you're very good at accents. Like,
I could do accents and pronunciation.
It must be.
I guess that's all I got.
more Welsh than English. Yeah. It's kind of like a lot of people they still speak this language. I think. I've been once in Ireland, and the girl Ireland.
Ireland?
Yeah, I've been in
What's the crack?
They'll say, I've been in Ireland, you know, that's way.
What's the crack?
What's the crack?
What?
Crack's
Come on.
19.
19.
19. Crack's 19.
Not 19, but
90. Yeah, 90.
90. Yes, there we go.
So, yeah.
Crack's 90.
What's a crack?
I was told. No, actually, I think Chris told me this. When you say what's the crack, you gotta say crack's 90.
Yeah.
90. I
Is
think
it
it's something to
what
do
the
with a
fuck they
song.
say?
Not entirely sure. Yeah.
No, although I've been told several times I've got an Irish accent.
Maybe you just sound
I
very
see
polite,
how
like very
people can
political.
think that if they haven't met you before, maybe.
No, today, just alone today at Tesco, I've been told 3 times that have you got an Irish accent? Because it doesn't sound
Irish
very
accent?
South.
They can't place it. Good morning to you. I wish you a
the
good morning.
like the top of
It's like
the
it's the Irish version of good morning, but
top
apparently
of
not.
the
I'm guessing only old people say.
top of the morning
Top of the morning to you.
to you.
It's
Top
like
of the
saying
morning to you.
it's saying
Top of
it's
the
like good
morning
morning.
to
Top of the morning to you.
Nice little.
I wouldn't
Top
say it
of
in
the
Ireland
morning,
though, because they'll
mama.
think, ah, who the fuck's this guy?
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the
Top
morning
of
to
the
you.
morning
Like they say to you or to ya?
to you.
To ya.
Y-A, yeah.
Top of the morning to ya.
Oh,
Like this. Top.
Good morrow, sir.
Good morning, sir.
No, that means morning. Yeah, so I'm saying good. It's good morning anyway.
Top of the morning to ya.
Yeah.
Top of the morning to ya.
I mean, I've never. I'm half Irish, but I've never been to Ireland before. I don't know why. Oh, I do know why. It costs money.
No, like the tickets to Ireland are very cheap.
I mean,
I did
like,
the- I did
if
the
I have
research
money
before.
to fly somewhere, I'm not gonna fucking fly somewhere very close. I'm gonna fly to like
let's
I
fly
don't know,
to Japan.
somewhere across the water anyway. Ireland is across the water, but it's, I don't know.
No, but
I think Ireland's just
it just costs
25.
35 pounds return to go to Ireland.
I feel like Ireland's is just the same as London though, like nothing special. I want to see like.
No, go to Dublin.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, like if you go to Dublin, it's completely different than London. Literally, it's completely different. The whole culture.
But if you go outside of London,
So it must be to a degree.
I personally believe like the London should be another country.
Leicester, near Leicester is the place
Coventry.
which is the center of Great Britain.
Yeah, I feel like
Virus.
anyway, like people in London are very close.
Closed.
Yeah,
Closed.
They don't want to share. There's like
Reserved.
Reserved, yeah.
Yeah.
Reserved.
Yeah, well, because like
Yeah, like, first of all, my experience from Dublin was every time when you go to the pub, you don't know anyone. You can go there completely alone, and you don't feel
Have you been
alone.
Dublin?
Yeah, I've been twice on the ship. I used to be a sailor, and yeah, this is complete. I can tell you this story, like just for you, not for a podcast maybe.
Let's keep it.
Two girls from Chile, and like we started to go around and so on. Then like happened what happened, and like anyway, in the morning I had to go back to the ship, so we went back to the ship, but we just jumped over the wall, and I brought them to the ship because I just wanted them to carry them. I wanted to carry them
like
there.
a bridge sort of
you
thing.
what? You want to
I wanted to carry them to the ship. which
Carry
is
them to
illegal.
the ship. You want a gent?
Where was the ship going?
Like we were staying in
They
port
were-
3 days.
they were docked.
Okay.
We were just on the
You
dock.
weren't taking them.
Just to spend there some time.
Yeah.
But as soon as we approached the ship, like we've been there, like all of the sailors that were working with me, no, like fuck off, you fucking bastard, and so on.
Well, they
So-
were-
To you or the girl? What do you mean?
Most of them they were Polish, and they were like just
Like who were they saying fuck off to? You or the
to
girl?
me because they were angry, but because of the jealousy. Because-
the jealousy.
Jealousy. They
Jealousy.
were jealous.
Yeah.
They were jealous.
Like,
Velocity.
yeah. No, I see. Like you're gonna be on a ship for so long. Like, hey guys, I'm gonna
Get
bring
two
this girl to
girls,
my
No.
room.
No, it's like,
You guys are having fuck
like
off.
being completely drunk. Like, yeah, fuck. You want to take a party? Oh, come on.
No,
we
oh,
can
yeah,
take a
yeah,
party.
that's
And they were
complete
like,
jealousy.
Was it like in the night?
Kind of understandable,
that was in
but
the morning, like about
Like, why
5,
be like
6 o'clock.
Wow.
And usually people, they would be like, yeah, come here. We can show them the ship or something. Like we don't have to drink. We don't have to be drunk. But we can just show them something very, very unique.
Yeah.
But they're like, fuck you, man. And the next day, they knew I'm gonna go out again. They knew it. So what they did, they called the police, let's say. So every 2 months on every ship, you need to have the tests for drugs, for alcohol, and so on.
Oh,
So what I did, I was pretty clever.
no drinking.
I pissed to the cab before I left. So like maybe there was a little bit of
Wait,
alcohol on the
because
hangover.
normally in England they watch you, not watch you. They put you in a toilet and they tape off the toilet bowl. You know the metal, the glass bit where the water comes in to flush it. Normally they tape all that shit off and they stand outside the toilet, so there's no way
No.
you could possibly exchange.
So what I did,
urine
I was
or
pretty
water.
clever on the previous check of this on the previous test. I stole some of the boxes, some of those like special bottles to me because I knew it maybe
PC cup.
like the PC cup.
But then you were clean.
Yeah, they were clean.
No, and you were clean. Then?
I think you clean because he had the previous piss in it.
Yeah, so what I did
You stole someone else's piss.
no mine, but it's like
Piss in his cup.
let's say I went back about 5 o'clock. I had to work from 8 to 4. Then I ate the dinner. Then I let's say slept 2-3 hours. Then I pissed to this PC
Let's
bus.
call it a pissy cup. Yeah.
PC cup.
Vile.
Yeah, and then I
Yes,
went
maybe.
I went back to the city, and I've met them again and so on. Then I came back to the ship back like very, very late. And I knew something's gonna happen. So I just went sleep like normally and then started to knock on my door and started to say like, yeah, you'll be fucked up. We have the test right now, but you're so drunk, they will detect something for sure. I'm pretty sure
Wait,
you took some drugs
Are you
and
not
stuff.
allowed to drink during your shift? During your time
never,
off?
Never. You should.
During your time off?
He's on duty, so no.
Yeah, because the next day you need to be on the watch. So you shouldn't be drunk. It's like the only time you can do
The
it
alcohol
is
can still be in your system.
on a sea. When, for example, you have the journey 1 month, let's say, so you take a lot of alcohol, you can be completely drunk on the sea because no one can detect that.
Okay.
The captain can do it, but they hardly ever do it. So yeah, they like all of my mates, they knew what's gonna happen, and they were like, "Yeah, you'll be fucked up, man. You'll be fucked up. I see you are completely drunk." And I was like completely drunk when I went to the bridge. I was like, "Oh." Yeah.
Like, I'm ready for you, fuckers.
Yeah, literally. And everyone's like, "Oh, you'll be fucked up. You'll be kicked out."
Yes.
Right? Switched the bottles, and I gave it back. Went to sleep again, and like the next day, they sent the results from the test, and like everyone was clear, and all of them were like, no, they didn't take anything because they didn't want to admit that they called this special office to do it.
Oh, right. Oh, so
So-
they literally tried to fuck you in ways that wasn't
So
in a
literally,
way
it's
they
like-
weren't meant to
it's
do
like-
it.
it's
They
like
they
literally,
tried to catch you out in an unlawful
Yeah,
way.
it's
I guess.
literally, I'm just your neighbor, let's say, and I don't like you. So what I can do, like if I see from the outside, you take the drugs, I can call the police comes here, they find you with the drugs, they send you to the prison. That's all it is. So the problem solved. So that's what they wanted to do with me, but it didn't work. So what happened next? It's even crazier. We went from Dublin to Rotterdam in Netherlands, and they told me the time when the ship swims away,
Yeah.
like depart. No, let's say
Departs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say that the ship departs, and they told me the bad time. So let's imagine me. I went to the city, I went back, and there was no ship. I was like looking everywhere, and like there was no ship, and I just called my captain and said, "No, Rafal, we told you must be at 4 at the ship because we are departing, but we couldn't find you. I was trying." Yeah, let's say he was trying to call me, but I couldn't reach you. I don't know why. So, yeah, I don't know what can I do. It's like, I lose the connection with the cell phone. No, okay. And he literally hang up with the call. So I was pretty clever. What I did, I just called my agent for my company, and that's the best. They said the ship will be back in Rotterdam in 1 or 2 weeks. I don't remember exactly. I think it's 1 week.
Thank you.
And they told me, okay, so
That's
we
really
cannot send you to the home because you are on a contract. So what we can do, we will find you the place you can sleep. You can like a special hotel or something like this. So they sent me to the very, very well hotel. With the very, very good food with everything.
And they pay for it?
Because I couldn't be on a ship.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Is it so?
Sorry about that.
It's so full.
I overflowed the glass.
Yeah, it's
My
the
bad.
glass with the Podorowski's over.
I guess more vodka, more joy.
Sponsor time.
So let's imagine me. I was at the dock where I was looking for my ship, but I couldn't find it. So I called my agency.
Wow.
Let's say they called the agent. It's like the special guy that takes care of the ship and takes care of everything that's going on the ship. And he said, okay, Rafal, so they will be back. The whole ship and the crew will be back in 1 week, let's say. So what we can do right now, we cannot send you to the house back. We cannot send you to another ship because you have all of the belongings there. So what we do, we send you to the hotel. You stay there, let's say just 1 week. They are back. You go back to the ship. So they left me in Rotterdam, in one of the best places in the world, literally.
Yeah.
They gave me some cash I could use. They gave me.
Well, like, not your
I don't
own
remember
cash?
exactly. Not my cash. They gave me like the special extra cash. So they gave me extra cash. I could buy something. They gave me the accommodation. They gave me the food, like 1 or 2 meals, I guess, a day,
Wow.
which was
pretty
very
fucking
generous. That was very generous. And they let me to live in Netherlands, literally.
Wow.
So
I-
they
I've been-
pay
I've
for
been
your
living there
food
2
and
weeks.
accommodation and shit.
Yeah, for everything. And then
What?
they just went back from, I don't know, maybe from Spain, from Portugal or somewhere. And I went back to the ship. And what's crazy, they were still paying me the normal salary, even though I didn't work 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
And like this is like literally the very hard work. So I didn't work 2 weeks, I've been paid for that time. I spent 2 weeks in Rotterdam with the money from them. They paid me for everything. They even like gave me the extra money for doing something.
Yeah. And you got a salary on top of that.
Yeah, they gave me the salary. No more.
Wait, so you got left in, was it Rotterdam?
Rotterdam, yeah, in Netherlands.
So what did you get? Did you get grilled in any way for this? Like, did they see this as your fault, or was this their fault? Like, were you like?
They started claiming this is my fault, but I knew they didn't call me. They didn't make me any. No, they didn't.
Did you have to prove this or anything? Like,
no, I feel like shit happens. I guess it's like nah. So I just called the agency and they were like, oh, okay, this is severe. We will try to do something. Yeah, and then they sent me to the Kuala hotel. Yeah, and yeah, that was very nice. It was a nice time.
So
I really recommend Netherlands. It's one of the best countries I've been living in.
So like, how did you get back? Did you get back on a ship? And if you did, how? Like,
yeah, they called me like 2 weeks later. Okay, Rafal, you must be ready in 1 hour. There will be taxi driver that will pick you up from your hotel and will drive you straight to the ship.
whoa.
That's all.
So they docked to the next dock, I guess, and
then
then
2 weeks later,
the taxi driver took you there, and you met them there.
Yeah.
It's like you got back on a ship, and like, were they like, "Yo, what the fuck happened? Like, are you serious?" Or like, were they like, "Okay, let's just forget this, carry on with as
they were like,
as you
okay,
were."
what did you do during the last time? What did you do on your holiday? We had to pay you for that, and you didn't walk. They were like were very, very rude. Like they were playing like this is my fault, and this is something I did predominantly. Let's say.
Wait, what? Just not
They started claiming, yeah, you are so lucky you had the holiday, so now you have to work harder that you've been working before.
So they tried to fuck you over, and you ended up having a good time out of it, and like,
them.
wow, you ended up having a good time, like without having to work hard.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck the ship. Fuck this fucking.
They tried to fuck you over, and in the end up they got pissed off more because they let you have a good time out of it.
It's karma. It just shows how karma works.
Yeah, and that was like, for example, exactly the same ship.
Depends how
Another
you
story.
define karma.
I sprained my ankle, and they told to me, like my chief officer, he was trying to convince the agency that if I cannot work, they need to send me to home, and this is my fault, so I need to pay for the travel expenses and so on and so on. But we've been in Tilbury, close to London, in a port, and I was speaking with they are called the people that work in the port. I don't remember exactly the name of this occupation.
I wouldn't know.
Oh fuck! I forgot. Yeah, but anyway, they're like no.
Marshals.
Yeah, I forgot. Like you need to throw your rope to be attached to the dock. Dockman. Let's call them dockman. Dockman. Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's another word, but let's call them dockman. And he told to me, okay, Rafal, if you don't feel very well, you need to go to the hospital. So literally, he went to my captain and he told to him, this guy doesn't feel very good, so we need to send him to the hospital. But he was like, no, he feels very good, yeah, he's going to be alright. He was, no, he feels very bad, we need to send him to the hospital. So they sent me to the hospital. There was
in London.
In Tilbury, yeah, in London. Let's say in London. And he sent me to the doctor. I said, okay, so he literally asked me what I want him to do, and I said, okay, if I ask you for 1 month of release from work, they will fire me for sure. If I ask, for example, for 1 week, they will not fire me, but after the 1 week, I will have to go back to work. So I said, okay, like we can say, okay, give me 2 weeks free from work, and I think they will not fire me, and I will not have to work during those 2 weeks.
As long as you say you are ill.
Yeah.
So at every point you have to negotiate what do you think is reasonable for you and what do you think is reasonable for
them to fire me.
For the company.
Legalities.
That's
like very good, very good doctor in London. Literally, they're one of the best. We were talking for a very long time about everything, and Then he asked me, okay, so what do you want
What do
me to
you
do?
want? Yeah.
Like, what do you want? So I
because,
said-
because it's strange, because it should be that medical opinion that decides what's best for you, but it's actually no, like it's actually.
I feel like he understood this is all about the job, all about the money. So if he says, for example, he can say, okay, your leg is broken, you cannot work for the half of the year. But he understands that I need to work, I need to get the money.
It's
and so
the
on.
reality.
This is the reality, yeah. So he could say, for example, my ankle could be sprained just a little bit, so he could say, okay, you don't have even to rest, you can work right now.
Could you work right now?
No, I couldn't. Like, I needed to rest, for example, just for 1 week. One week.
Yeah,
So,
because
right, but-
that's usually when you sprain your ankle.
You need the one week,
It's
right.
just
Like,
one,
did
one
you
week.
did you sprain your ankle or did
Yeah,
you
I
have...
did. Yeah, I did.
So what happened when you sprained your ankle?
When you sprain your ankle, it's like it's just like
not what happens. Like, how did you sprain your ankle?
I was working, and there's like the special, like such a
pulley,
yeah, something like the, let's say,
like a
elbow,
like a wheel.
wheel made of metal, just to I didn't
Yeah,
even know this word. Yeah, so let's say that there was a pulley.
invented for
So that was the cement vessel, cement carrier. So we were carrying the cement from one
what they
country
used
to
to build the
another.
pyramids.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So there were like the special pipes that were going from the port to the ship, and they were like pumping the cement. So
Cement.
we didn't want cement. So we didn't want those pipes to jump. So we had like special those
Ropes that were holding down the pipe that were
pulley.
held by the pulley.
Yeah. So I was just working. I stepped.
Anchored.
Yeah, I stepped on this one and just sprayed my ankle.
Because the rope
Right,
just
right.
went.
No, just let's say like you go on a pavement and you just step just on the edge. Let's say you step on the edge.
You tripped over it.
Yeah.
Oh, so putting it like professionally, you had an accident in a workplace, therefore you were fine.
Yeah.
You
But
were-
No,
what day?
But like because it was a Polish ship. Like,
It was the German, but let's say the whole crew.
No, but like
generally
it was
Polish.
during his shift of whatever he was
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah,
so
no.
I guess it's considered like during.
But Polish people would be like, "Oh, it's all your fault." It's not. Like, they would never take responsibility.
Yeah, and what they did, it was let's say
Professionally even like
I had to work.
So shit.
Let's say I had to work from 8 till 5. Let's say 5 p.m.
right.
But it was let's say 5:30 because we were doing the overtime. Like if we are on the port, we need to do the overtime to secure everything.
Oh, so
it was all overtime.
They still measure your hours whilst you work.
Yeah, but they started to claim I didn't do it during the work. They started to claim I did it on my free time, so I don't like deserve the help from the hospital, and like I don't deserve the with compensation.
Because you did it through your free
That-
time.
they were trying.
But actually, it was your overtime.
That was my overtime. Yeah, that was just my overtime. So I was working,
Oh,
but they didn't state in the logbook that I was working. So they stated, okay, that was his normal time, the leisure time. So
they tried to fuck you over.
yeah, they were trying to do it.
Yeah.
And when I did, I literally I went to this doctor.
They
right?
would try to cover their backs by fucking.
But
ring them.
So they were trying to kick me out from the ship the second time, and they didn't do it.
No.
the same people.
Exactly the same people.
Wow.
And let's say the same people.
And that was the second.
They didn't like you.
That was after
Australia.
Rotterdam.
I don't remember which was first, but there were like thousands of the times that they were trying to kick me out.
So
That's
of all those times they tried to kick you out, they never
And
succeeded.
literally, I would like to go home, but
But
I just cared about the money. It's like,
Yeah.
you
But
need to work to
during
get
the
money,
trip,
so-
how did you manage the interactions with these people? Like, because you know they tried to fuck you up. But how did you manage to like interact with them during the trip?
Yeah, at the beginning I was trying to be nice, polite, and stuff.
Like,
They were older than me. They were like, on a ship you don't have the democracy. Like if someone is higher than you, like it doesn't mean he must be older, or he can be more
ranks, you mean
experienced.
ranks, like
It
ranks.
just the rank, yeah. So
Yeah.
if he is higher than you on the rank, he can do literally everything. Like even like I remember we had the very very bad chief chef.
I understand jealousy, but like acting on it is a different thing. They shouldn't.
So like
they
he
should just
literally
mind their own fucking
he was
business.
literally bullying us. The guys that were below him. So we bullying. Yeah, he was bullying us. So we called the special agency, but they couldn't do anything. It's like on a ship.
But you can't like order what do you call it? A form of grievance. Like
you don't have the
they'll
proof.
just say like, man the fuck up or something.
You don't have the proof. So like even
then you have to go through the paperwork.
It's your word against theirs.
So like unless you can be the man in the situation and like prove your own shit, then you have to rely on the system.
Oh,
the system just works on paperwork, so like it just takes time.
Yeah, and even if you do it, it's against the whole like the.
They can only act up on what they see, is it? Or...
Like even for example, if you record it, all of the mates would be like, "No, you shouldn't do it." Even if you don't like him, you shouldn't do it first.
Mm.
And secondly, let's say you have the argument with someone, and you have the argument in Polish, but all of the ship courts they work in English only, so they would be like.
Court? What do you mean by courts?
It's like the court, international court.
Oh, courts.
Court.
Oh yeah.
Like the sound court.
Senate.
Yeah, court.
Courts. Yeah.
The justice.
So if you feel that someone was trying to do something bad to you, you need to go to the court. But most of them they work in English, some of them work in Spanish, some of them in French, and so on and so on. But usually it's not about the Polish. So the only thing you can do, you can call, for example, your agency. But let's say you work for an agency 2 weeks, he works for an agency 5 years. So who they trust? Him.
And I guess they
and you can.
Is there not like a bias to the highest ranking officer? Like, oh, he's a higher rank than you. You must be lying because he's the higher rank and he has this power over you.
Yeah, firstly he's a higher rank. Secondly, he works longer for a company. He's more, like, let's say, sensible,
trustworthy.
Yeah. That's why it was always very, very irritating.
It's very unfair.
Yeah, because on a ship you don't have any democracy. So that's why I don't recommend anyone to go there. I don't.
Oh well, I don't know. It sounds like a really good experience to have.
Are you looking to charge that? Yeah. There's a plug socket there.
Yeah, but for example, the crazy story, how this story ended.
Did we do it?
So the whole crew was changed. So let's say there were 15 people. They were changed by the new 15 people, and those old 15 people were sent to the Poland and like those countries. And we've been sitting in one bus, all of us. And let's say if you are after the contract, you don't have to follow the rules. So it means someone, like even the chief officer, even the master, even the chief, the second officer, and so on and so on, the captain, they are not the captain. They are just the normal people to you. So you are after the contract, so you can do everything. So then let's imagine what was happening in the bus between us. Literally, you are so frustrated. You hated someone for so long. They had the power. They could do everything with you. They could even throw you overboard. And they wouldn't care about that, really. Like if you spend 6 months, for example, on a ship, you become a different person. You lose your.
How long were you with those people?
Like with those 4 months.
4 months. Okay, and what happened afterwards when you got off the ship?
So I remember there was one. He was the third officer of my ship. We've been in the shop. Then we went back with some alcohol because we wanted to drink something. And
of course, like before you even like each other, you have to drink something.
Yeah, he started to be very offended to me, and I was like, guy, like if you want to fight, we can fight or something like this. And he was like, no, man, if you want to fight, yeah, we can do it right now. So we literally went outside of the van together.
Oh, so you're.
Wait.
After.
Wind back. How did this all start? Like, give a good
story.
No,
so he was just telling us about the story in Rotterdam. They were being a dick to him.
I was trying to.
So all of the guys above me, they were trying to bully me on the ship. And then when we were going back from the ship to our houses, we were in one bus. And like you are after the contract, so you are not under someone or you are not hired on someone. You are just one crew.
That's the cycle. That's how it goes. Yeah.
So that was the place when you could say what you mean. That was the place when you could, like, literally say
speak freely.
Yeah, speak freely.
Yeah.
So I started to fight I started to fight with the third officer of my ship in the bus. Then we went outside. That was in Germany.
Like on John Wick, they call it continental grounds.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I remember we've been in Germany. We went out from the van. We went out from this coach or something. We started to fight. I've started to fight with the third officer, but then he was supported with the chief officer from my ship, and we started to fight together. And then
Wait,
they,
so
they,
was it,
they
was
were
it them versus you all together?
all together. Yeah,
That's not fair. What happened to one-on-one? Like,
I've beaten them up. I didn't. Yeah, I did. Sorry. But it's great. Like we started to fight on a petrol station in Germany, and then there were some guys from like Afghanistan. Maybe they didn't speak English. I think they were speaking German, but none of us were speaking German. So they started to disperse this whole fight on the street. Yeah, one of the craziest story in my life. One of the craziest story in my life.
How bad did it get? Like, were you punching each other, or?
Yeah, like literally, like I could like literally. Like you shouldn't say you can kill someone, but at this state, you lose all of your.
But how did
ideas.
the fight start? Did you punch him or he punched you?
No, he started to say like, because I was wearing the glasses, I remember, so he was saying like, yeah, you must be like a pussy, you wear the glasses and stuff, yeah. I remember from the ship, you couldn't speak. You couldn't speak up because I was like, yeah, I couldn't speak up because I cannot do it. I cannot do this because I'm below someone, so I cannot do this.
Did you not realise he was once where you are?
Yeah, but like if you want to be, for example, the master, you need to go throughout the whole.
Yeah. Why did he have a problem?
You must realise.
Oh, because you got the money for the Rotterdam stay, and then you got the money.
He
for
was
the
once
stay.
where you were at that point. Like
Yeah,
he's been through your
He's
shit.
been through that.
But basically, he tried to like screw him over because like he was like, oh, he's below me, so I can treat him as he's below me. But then Rafal,
He's using his advantage.
he used his rights to empower himself, and then he didn't like that, and so he went back at Raf, and
Do we have more beers in the freezer or
I
fridge?
think we have some energy drinks.
Yes, I'm
Energy drinks.
So can you
Wait,
stop
what about beers though?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell one story from the ship, and like we started to talk about that 20 minutes. That's a long password.
We don't.
So we've been talking about the fight on the petrol station, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we start,
Na zdrowie.
cheers.
Na zdrowie.
We need to mention our sponsor, which is Podorowski Vodka today.
Podorowski, that's right.
I'll sip this J2O.
Yeah, he must has been a very tough guy. A very tough guy.
I mean, how tough was the situation at the petrol station?
Yeah.
So like
resume.
you might think like, for example, if we started to fight, it's like just
So he
normal
was
casual, like
No,
pushing each other.
not as simple as fisticuffs. It was
but-
like a bit like.
previously for 4 months he was your officer, right?
And he was always bullying me, always, the whole 4 months, since the very beginning. Another guy from
Come on.
Poland, and like it's not only my opinion. Like we've been together, and we have exactly the same thoughts about this whole time. So like yeah, he was a bastard, and he was always treating us very bad. But it's not only about him, about the whole crew. Like, of course, they were a few people that were very nice and very polite. And like even very inspirational, but most of them, they weren't. Yeah, so
Well, no, it's perfect.
yeah, because I would say 90% of the people that are working at sea, they aren't very aspirational. Aspirational, like they don't aspire to do something great.
To achieve something great.
Ambitious. Yeah.
They are not very ambitious at all. So let's imagine you are 50 years old guy that spent the whole life at sea.
Yeah.
Let's say you have the wife, but maybe even she doesn't love you because she spends most of the time through marriage away from you, and like maybe she cheats on you, but that's another story. And then, for example, you meet like young guy from Poland that tries to do something different, that tries to learn something, that tries to study a lot, that tries to just do something better.
Do something.
Yeah, just do something. Like he was. I guess like all of them, they were always very jealous of that. So like for example, I remember.
Resentful.
I remember.
Resentful, yeah, that's the word.
There's like the program that you can calculate the trim of the ship, which means like you are aft or you are back, or you are aft or you are fore with the ship, and like you need to calculate everything there. But they fucked up the whole program, so they asked me for help, and they were like, yeah, okay, Rafal, maybe you can do it, maybe you can do it, but like because they couldn't do it, and then I did it because they have needed a program to work, to operate, and everything. Because like, you can call the company to do it, but it's very expensive, so they didn't want to do it. So I did it for them, and they were like, instead of saying thanks Rafal, like that was very crucial for us. That was very important for us because now we can work again without any problems. They were like, yeah, okay, yeah, you fucking nerdy guy. You always do something on your computer. Yeah, it's nice that you did it, but fuck you.
And that's why you separate envy from jealousy.
Like
yeah, they're like very envy.
I know it sounds
jealousy,
bad,
that's
but
like
like
separation.
I've experienced similar sort of thing in Poland. It's
yeah, sometimes like especially with the Polish people, is the problem that when you are over ambitious.
like
jealousy is the perfect word for it.
They seem like they seem
yeah.
like they're nice and stuff like that. Like they don't give you negative emotions, but it's still like, oh, but you're like you're a time waster, or like you're just a computer nerd. Like it doesn't really matter what you
So
did.
they cannot admit you are better in something.
No,
They would say you are nerd. That's why you can repair the computer, but they wouldn't say you are intelligent.
I guess more so in Poland.
Yeah, they wouldn't admit, for example, you are very clever in the informatics. You can create some algorithms, for example. They would say you are a nerd guy that spends the whole day on the computer. So that's why only in this one.
I never heard the word informatics until I met you. Like that's like I kind of get it.
It's information technology. It's the same word.
It's not worth being jealous over those. Like they should be happy for you that you.
They should be. You know? They should be. They didn't. They weren't. They weren't.
Oh, fuck them.
It's
fucking bastards. Yeah.
It's different culture in our country.
Jealousy is a natural
yeah, so
trait,
let's
though.
imagine the best
Horrible
aspects of Polish culture, and then let's say you've met 10 people in Poland that were very, very rude to you, and then you send all of them to one ship, and then they spend half of the year together. This is tough.
I see how arguments can form there, definitely.
So
yeah, let's imagine even imagine normal English people to spend, let's say during the quarantine, you can spend 1 week together.
Thing to argue over.
Like even like for example, you can love your wife, but if you spend 1 week together, you start to hate each other. Then imagine the people that are from another cultures, another like let's say part of the country,
different personalities,
completely different personalities, and they don't spend 1 week. They spend half of the year with your ship. It's exactly the same. It's fine.
Is that your phone?
Yes,
is that someone Polish? Yeah, like when you like, I can imagine if you spend.
I'll just record the message. Jeśli nagrywamy teraz podcast.
I know, like you know so much about each other in a space of like say the first 6 weeks even.
Yeah, that's even the worst. Like I can say
I've only done that for 14 days. Let alone
let's say like I can say a lot of bad things about all of my crew members. I can say a lot of bad things about myself as well. It's like if you spend there, like after 1 month, you lose all of your virtues, you lose all of your ideas, and you become a different person. So like I can say a lot of bad things about some other people, and I could say, okay, I'm very clean, I'm the best one, and so on and so on. But to be honest, I was exactly the same. So
but you must form.
Okay. So you must have had.
There must be a certain level of trust you form with those people.
So like it's like if you don't have any other people, everything.
Yeah,
then,
like you know them inside and out.
Let's say if you have the argument, you can use all of those sometimes very private things
against
them. Yeah,
that's not cool.
And if you spend such a very long time with everyone, you know all of the stories, like all of the weddings, all of the birthdays parties, and so on. You know everything. It's like
4 months is a long time.
No, a year. He spends a year with these people.
No, half the year. Half of the year.
Half a year.
You said with
That's still a long time.
this particular crew, you spent 4 months, right?
Let's say some of them we change. Let's say every 3 months.
But did this particular crew we are talking about, because
I don't mean like this exact person, but it's like this
For
this whole
4
crew.
months.
So like let's say there was when I was there were 2 engineer officers, the guys that were working the engine, the chief officer from the engine and so on. So like let's say altogether there was 20 people. So during the half of the year, you've met during the three months you've met 10 people. During the second 3 months you've met another 10 people, and then they just switch over every 3 months.
Okay, so you only
Wait, I'll be right back.
You only meet 10 people at a time.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, so like, but given like the situation you had on the boat, this is quite comparable to current situation people have at home. They are forced to just stay with their housemates and members of their household. What recommendation would you give to people in how to stay in good contact with people?
Try to be very sympathetic always. Try to understand the second person, because like as I said before, I can tell a lot of bad things about all of the other crew members, but I was exactly in the same position. I was very rude to everyone. I cannot deny it.
So you can choose how you see them, basically, right?
Yeah. And let's say you spend 1 week here in the quarantine together, and you can be very rude at someone. Just think for 5 seconds before you say something what the other person can understand, what the other person can.
Okay, so basically try to understand another person's perspective.
Yeah. Just
because that just helps to resolve the tension. Because if you understand where another person is coming from, you can kind of ease the tension in the household.
Yeah, try to understand the whole scope of some other people.
Well, so sounds like a very good experience, because then now whenever you're living with other people, it helps you.
Yeah, because I may be always very frustrated because of some other people's behaviors.
Yeah.
But I know
where
it's just the behavior.
Where they are coming from.
Yeah, you need to understand the whole background. You need to understand all of the factors that were very important to everyone, and what have built you as the person you are right now.
Yeah, and that's for everyone. Like everyone has been.
Yeah, let's say I can, for example, be very mad because of your, let's say, hairstyle, you know.
Yeah.
But then I can like learn from you that this hairstyle means something in your culture, let's say, and then I feel like okay, it makes sense. It's not something very natural for me, but it's something very natural for you, and you understand this. And like, just we need to talk through all of the things we don't like.
Yeah.
That would be the recommendation.
Because essentially that's the same thing is that people during the lockdown now, they have to work through the differences just as on the ship, because they have no way
I'm back.
situation that they are.
Yeah. So my so just to finish the topic, just if you feel the argument is in the air, just argue, but
just
be careful what you say. Don't say like even too much.
You mean like don't bottle up stuff?
Yeah, but sometimes you can be very offended to someone.
Get it off your heart.
I've done that in the past, and it's never ended well. It's best to just like speak your mind in the situation.
Even the very little, the very tiny, like disagreement between you, just talk through that. Like every time, if you feel everything is not correct, just talk through that. Just agree with something. Yes, like better if you realize about something, just say it very straight away.
I mean, everyone already knows this shit,
everything. It's like you can accumulate everything. You can not say everything for years, and then there can be a very, very big battle between, for example, you and your wife, and
or
then
your housemate, or
your housemate,
Yeah,
flatmate,
yeah,
or your
whatever.
shipmate.
Shipmate, yeah.
Yeah, in
That's
other words,
shit.
you inflate a very big balloon that
Yeah.
has to explode one day.
Yeah, but okay, so
That's a good
being
analogy.
honest in these kind of conversations is definitely the right way
Yeah,
to
and
be.
if
but-
you see
but
any problem, just be.
What do you do? And you want to say some truth, but should you still say the truth, or because someone's higher up than you, should you bite your
I
I
tongue?
think-
guess it is very difficult. It's like
Do you mean- do you mean if someone- do you
you
mean-
should say the truth, but at the same time you are lower.
No, I mean,
not always,
I mean
not
that
always.
if someone's
Not
above you
always.
in the hierarchy, because
Sometimes, yes.
everyone has their own truth, right?
Yeah.
And in order to get the objective truth, everyone gets together and say their own truth, and they argue it out, and hopefully they get to a consensus.
I like that.
Consensus.
Way.
But
Consensus,
in certain
yeah,
hierarchies, some people
It's like compromise.
some people
Yeah,
pretend to be much higher up, and like
There appears a very huge difference between your positions.
that's right.
Age comes with experience. So when like an old
The
person tells me,
Chinese attitude.
when an old person tells me something, I
can you-
surely listen to
when
it
can you
because they've been
criticize
living longer than
someone
I
above
have.
you?
Like from the experience from the ship, you shouldn't do it because I cannot even say why. Like you just shouldn't do it. There's someone above you, so you cannot like comply with his point of view. Like you can say something, okay, maybe you should like maybe think from another point. Maybe you should do this.
So what's the best way to improve the
like-
situation?
To sum up this whole conversation, if you are on the same position as the other person, just be always very direct, be always truthful, be always
Straightforward.
straightforward. I was looking for this word. So yeah, be always very straightforward, and always when you see even the very tiny, small difference between you, just always talk through that. But if you speak with your boss or you speak with just someone that is above you, you should do the same, but always very politely, always very like sometimes. Let's say what I was doing personally, I was giving always the examples of someone else, and then let's say slightly come this example to my position. Like then that person can understand my position.
Jordan Peterson, and one of his 12 rules of life is always assume the person you're talking to knows something you don't. To me,
yeah,
that's so very true. Whether they're younger than you, older than you,
Yeah, that's
especially if
very
they're
profound,
older than
yeah.
you, I guess, because they've
And
lived
then
longer than you.
They
But always
got more
assume that they know
experience.
something you don't.
Yeah. So yeah, our thoughts about that.
Let's save some of this for the next episode. Let's save some for the next episode, like as much as I'm enjoying this. And
Yeah, 'cause there are thousands of stories I can tell from the ships, which can adjust our society right now. Yeah, the only thing I want to say in the end is maybe the stories from the ships, let's say, can be very weird and maybe they don't seem to be very normal. But if you go to the very not normal,
Edge of the society.
usually telling the stories from the ship, the whole society that is working there, for me it's exaggerated version of the normal society. Out there you can experience the limits of the society, what we are able to do in the future, for example.
Capable of.
Like the capability of
Ability.
capability of the whole society and our limits, what we can do in society, and what are our limits, what we are able to do to some other people, for example, only to goal our things, to aim our achievements. Yeah, so.
And you can only find this out on the ship.
Do you mean in a case that you can only understand it 100% if you're there in the situation?
Yeah, because all of the situation on the ship, they seems to be very, very exaggerated, like as I said before, exaggerated version of normal life. And all of the stories I can tell you, you can compare to normal life, multiply by 10, and then it is what's happening on the ship. But if it's happening on the ship, you can assume it can happen on a normal life.
Actually, you know what, guys?
We can start from
No,
scratches.
no. Start from the scratches.
Scratches.
Start from scratch.
Scratches.
No.
Say scratches.
I feel like, okay.
Change the fucking language.
We've been
Change the whole language and whole slang.
hour and 28 minutes. Okay, how about, let's save the rest of your stories till part 2, because if we don't, we're gonna have nothing left for episode 2.
Yeah, I have to run out of the stories, yeah. So let's...
You say that, but I feel like there's a lot more.
Yeah, there are a lot of
the
stories.
We've run out of vodka.
Vodka's flowing, so...
I guess there are a lot of stories to normal life.
Let's see you in episode 2.
It's just another life which you can compare to normal life, and then have the comparison and realize about the things.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
To normal life.
Let's see you in episode 2.